Hi everyone, today we're gonna talk about Samsung vs Apple. Samsung is a South Korean company based in Samsung, Seoul. The company was founded by Byung-Chul Lee on 1 March 1938. It is hailed as one of the world's largest producers of electronic devices that popularized the Galaxy series of smartphones. But this big shot company started a long way from their business today. Believe it or not, Samsung started as grocery trading store. Their success in the field of technology started from creating black and white television, then becoming a lead in information technology services. Product by Samsung is television, smartphones, laptop, printer, and other electronic devices. Apple is an American multinational technology company headquartered in Cupertino, California that designs, develops, sells consumer electronic, computer software, and online services. Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne in 1976 to develop and sell Wozniak's Apple I personal computer. Through Wayne sold his share back within 12 there. Product by Apple is iMac, Mac Mini, iPod, iPhone, and others. For 3 years, Apple's iPhone dominated the smartphone scene. Its market debut in 2007. Then came Android's strong warrior to rival Apple's regency. Samsung Galaxy series was a game changer that prompted the fierce Apple vs Samsung battle. Let's see how the battle has fared after nearly a decade of smartphone rivalry.
First battle is phone size. Physical size of smartphones change. Every release of Samsung and Apple device vary in sizes to cater to consumers who want large, small, or medium-sized phones. Let's take a look at the physical phone size of smartphones from Apple and Samsung. The number above show the difference between the two smartphones in size. For the display size, there seems to be no outright difference. The first two smartphones of both brands have the exact same size, while iPhone XS Max and Galaxy S10 Plus made it 0.1 negative inch difference. The display resolution, however, makes the most difference. It seems that the Galaxy S10 series holds the upper hand of the resolution against the iPhone X series. We can assume that in this term, Samsung wins.
For the second battle, home screen unlocking. Smartphone security has been evolving since its conception. Locking phones from unwanted intruders can be done by setting up a lock pin, fingerprint scan, and pattern lock. Smartphone consumers nowadays are in need of a home screen lock that is fast and reliable. iPhone X revealed one of the most efficient home screen locks for smartphone, which is Face ID. With just a single glance, you can now unlock your phones. This is quite popular among smartphone users since there's no need to punch in numbers or trace pattern, which sometimes takes a couple of tries. All you need is to position your iPhone in front of you to scan your profile and use your phone to your heart content. For Android users, Samsung adopted the idea of using face recognition. Samsung Galaxy S10 series secures the device through lock type. For example, pattern, PIN, and password, as well as the biometric type, which means fingerprint sensor and face recognition. We can say that Apple wins.
Next, we go to the third battle for the camera of the phone. Both the iPhone 11 Pro and Samsung Galaxy S10 have three rear-facing camera lenses, one of which allows the phones to capture ultra-wide image with a noticeably large field of view than was previously possible. But there's a difference between Apple and Samsung's ultra-wide-angle cameras. Samsung offers a 123-degree field of view, while Apple's is slightly narrower at 120 degrees. Samsung's ultra-wide-angle camera has a lower aperture than Apple's too, which means the lens should be able to open wider to observe more light and therefore provide more exposure. For the third battle, Apple win. Fourth battle, the security of the phone. The point is, because Android is basically open source, anyone can look at what's in Android. You can do that with iOS, said Jack Gold, principal analyst with J. Gold Associates. If you are LG, for example, and you put out a phone with modification to the OS and you didn't do a good job with it, there's a potential vulnerability. And in this day and age, someone will find it. Even if a developer makes a small modification to an app running on Android, it can create a security hole. Apple's iOS is much more restrictive with what developers can do, and Apple doesn't release its source code. That means generally that iPhone and iPads are harder to jailbreak than Android phones. Apple puts all kinds of restrictions on them, and they check you every now and then. And if they find a phone is jailbroken, they shut you down. And because Apple controls the hardware and the software, they have the ability to impose tighter security. Apple win because they more secure than Samsung.
Fifth battle, charger. If you are talking about the chargers included in the box, the Samsung flagship charger faster. They have support for 18-watt charging out of the box and 15-watt fast wireless charging. Coming to Apple, the iPhone 2017 lineup and newer they support fast charging, but they do not include the fast charger in the box. It costs $70. In theory, you might believe that the iPhones will charge faster, but that isn't the case. The iPhone X with a 2761 mAh battery takes 2 hours 5 minutes to charge. The Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus has comparatively larger 3500 mAh battery and takes 1 hour 38 minutes to charge. The Samsung flagship charger much faster than the Apple flagship without burdening your wallet. So, if you want proper fasting charging out of the box, I can say that you must go for the Samsung devices.
In conclusion, Samsung and Apple have their advantages. So, we can say that this battle is fierce. Let's look back at the battlefield. First point is font size. So, if comes to font size, we can deny that Samsung won because Samsung has a larger font size than Apple. Next, home screen unlocking. In this point, Apple wins because Apple has more sophisticated home screen unlocking. Other than that, the camera. If we can see, Samsung and Apple have a good camera, but when it comes to Apple, the camera is more HD compared to other phones. So in this point, Apple wins. In addition, security. As we know that Apple has more security than Samsung because if they find a phone is jailbroken, they'll shut you down. The last battle is the charger. Samsung has a faster charger that allows you to charge our battery in a short time than Apple. So we can conclude that Apple wins 3 out of 2 advantages over the existing advantages. If we look now at the average Apple consumption more than Samsung, So we can infer that Apple is more popular than Samsung.